All right, in this segment, we're going to talk about the final expressive element. We've talked about tempo, we've talked about dynamics. Now we're going to talk about what we call articulations. Articulations. And all that means is the way that we usually use the term attack the note. It's not a really good choice of terms because it sounds like we're doing battle with the notes, which we hope not to be doing. But it has to do with the stroke of the note if you're playing something like a piano where you actually do strike it. If you're an instrumentalist, it has to do with how your tongue is releasing in your instrument. If you're playing percussion, it has to do with sometimes what kind of mallet you're using, how you're striking the bars or the drum head. So there are a lot of different ways that it's produced, but we use the same sort of terminology no matter what kind of instrument is doing the performing. So we could say that most notes, we'll just call them straight. We just sort of do them la, 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 you know, there are pitches here. But that can be boring over time. We need more variety than that in our use of rhythmic structures. So some of the things that we can do are to connect the notes, make them very smooth together. Let me see, what can I do that's nice and smooth? Jingle Bells is not a smooth tune. We don't want to go there. Maybe I will do it. So that's my legato version of Jingle Bells. The notes are very connected to one another. If I were singing it, la, 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 la. I'm not a singer, remember? La, 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 la. There's not a gap in between. If you think about it when you talk, you don't talk like this. You connect your notes together, you make them smooth. So the word for that smooth connection between the notes is legato. There are some other fancier terms, but for most part, that's what we'll talk about. So smooth and connected legato. So as you're listening to music, you think it's, a lot of times when you think about really pretty music, it's connected and smooth like that. Another thing that we can do is called staccato. Staccato. And if you played in your high school band or took lessons somewhere down the line, somebody probably said to you staccato means short. Well, it doesn't. Staccato just means shorter than it used to be. So we could take our Jingle Bells, which was, in whichever segment I'm in there, that was legato. I could put just a tiny space in between the notes. That's still staccato. It's got a little bit of space in between. I could make it really staccato, in which case it is short. But the real meaning of staccato is to put space in between the notes. So whether we choose to make it really sharply staccato like I did the second time or just that kind of staccato is again going to depend on the style of the piece and the effect that you're trying to create. So we have legato, very smooth and connected. We have staccato, which is disconnected, basically. There are also things that we can do to emphasize notes, and we call those accents. So that's easy because it's a word we use in language. You're going to accent this word, put a stress on it. There are lots of different kinds of accents. I could put some in weird places. Just putting an emphasis on something. You play it a little bit louder. If you're a wind instrumentalist and you're using your tongue, you're going to get a kind of sound. You're going to hear more tongue sound coming through the instrument. So there are lots of ways to accomplish it, and there are lots of levels of accents. So you can have really strong accents. We mark them with little things that look like we call these house tops because they sort of look like roofs of houses that mean really, nail that note. We might have this kind of accent that tells us just to give it a little extra push. So lots of different kinds of accents, but basically you're listening for a stress, usually one you didn't expect. I'm actually playing in an orchestra, and we're playing this piece that's in simple duple meters, so it's like bum 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 bum. But they've got accents put in so that I'm supposed to sound like I'm playing in 3. So it's like bum 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 bum. It's hard to do because you're looking at notes that are in patterns of 2, but you're supposed to be accenting in patterns of 3. So that's a way that the composer can sort of throw off the audience as well, because everything else is sort of plugging along nicely duple, and all of a sudden you hear this odd little triple accent coming in there. So those are the things that we do to give you even more interest to the rhythmic structure and to the melodic structure. So we can make things legato, we can make them staccato, and we can use accents. So those are basically the three kinds of articulations that we use. And as we look at some different kinds of instruments and pieces, we'll also see that some instruments have their own special things that they can do to create different kinds of articulations. But we'll look at those as we look at those pieces.